Okay, what is going on? Problem solved. CD into desktop. Show you exactly what's going on. Sudo su, or actually, yeah, sudo su. Okay. Now let's say screen. Okay. Want to mount verbose type ext3 dev sda or LFS partition to mount LFS. CD into mount LFS, and I want to vim or vim.tiny, I guess in this case, vim.tiny etc password file. Okay. So this is what it is. Basically, it did exactly what I showed you on the other side, except for I wasn't CH rooted. I went in on the other side. Went ahead, like in the last tutorial, mounted and bound the device. And I created a temporary user who I called LFS. Okay. And he was actually, the privilege level was at 1000, stop 1000. I changed that privilege level to 00. Okay. And I gave him a password. And then rebooted the machine, and I jumped in. I was able to log in as root because of the 0 stop 0 here. I was able to log in as root, create a group root which already exists, okay, and then I created a user add with bin bash capabilities, groups root or group root, make a dev null folder, okay, for the root user, that root user, okay, and that didn't allow me because it already existed. So then I just passworded the root user again. And this is all on the other side. This is not even to deal with over here. This is all on the other side, off camera. I was able to password the user again. When I came in, the root, that user is root, okay, and that's this user right here, okay. So now what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to flip-flop these, and I can actually just go ahead, say root stop. So how I made the LFS user here and change it to double zeros to make him root, I have the root user here which has a group, is it group 1000? Group 1000, okay, and root 0. Just going to flip-flop that to 0 stop 0, and home is no longer going to be home root. I can make it root, okay, bin bash, it's okay, and doing that I can really just delete this user here. I don't have to say user delete or use del user or nothing. I can just delete this root user here, the LFS user, and I'm going to move this around a little bit. I'm actually going to delete this, but I'm going to paste it up here. Oops, up here. I just paste it right here and get rid of these multiples. Okay, and right quit that. Now I'm going to say etc group, modify the Etsy group folder. The root user already exists, so he did not get done again in the groups, but the LFS user used to be. I just flip-flopped his privileges, okay? So I can delete him here, okay? That should be good. And Etsy shadow, okay? And I can delete this LFS user, and I'll say give me some room, and I can now say delete this user here, which is root, and paste him back up top here where he belongs, okay? And right click exclamation, and okay, that's it. You only need 3 files. The Etsy password, Etsy group, and Etsy shadow. Okay. And like I said, when I ran into that problem, first thing I did was I fixed the init tab, so I can actually cat that out. Cat Etsy init tab. Init tab. Okay. If you remember when we did the init tab, I had a no clear option here. Okay. So I actually wasn't picking up the error when it came out. I was typing in, I was trying to log in, and it would just clear the screen right away. So I put that no clear back there. Okay, how it was like in the book. And that helped me find out the error. Cannot execute bin bash no source file or directory. Something like that. Okay. And then from there, I went ahead, I rebooted back into the Ubuntu side, and I mounted v-bind dev to $LFS dev. Okay, I mounted that, bound it. Okay, and then like you seen in the last tutorial, went ahead and I found the correct chroot command. Okay, the correct one, which is the very last one. Chrooted back into the system. Okay, and from within the chroot environment, just went ahead and user add or group add a temporary user. Okay, and that temporary user just happened to be LFS. And then I did a user add on him to the temporary user with bin bash capabilities and all other stuff like that. Okay, and then I gave him a password too. And then what I was able to do was able then to log in as the LFS user on the chroot side to test it out. Then I had to, on the chroot side, had to vim.tiny Etsy, what was it, groups, I think it was. Etsy group? No, it wasn't Etsy group. It was Etsy password. And the Etsy password, the LFS user or the temporary user was down here with privilege of 1000. Okay, because that's going to be, when you add a user, first user add is going to be, they're all going to start at 1000. Then it'll continue up from there. However many users you have. He was at 1000. Only thing I did was I changed his permission level to 0 zeros. Okay. Now this is the LFS user, not the root user. This is the LFS user. Changed it to 0 zeros. That would have effectively made him root. Okay. Then as root, he could do whatever he wanted to. Then after I changed him to root through the chroot environment, reboot the computer, go in as that LFS user and log in. Okay. The user's name is LFS, but he has root privileges. Okay. And then I needed to user add a user, or user add a group, group add a group called root, which already existed. Then I needed to add a user called root with bin bash capabilities to the group root, which already existed. Then password that root user. Okay, so that's how I solved it. And then this last set of tutorials here, I just went ahead and I started to delete LFS user who was a temporary user who was temporarily made root. I hope you get that, and I hope you didn't have these problems. Okay, I don't know what it is. I talked to the guys on IRC and LFS help or LFS support. He didn't really know what was going on, so I'm gonna go back there and tell him what I found out. So I ran into this with 6.3. Oh, I'm sorry, 6.8. I ran into this bad with 6.8. I thought I was gonna run into this with 7.3, and I think I might have ran into it with some of the dry runs, but I know in the video I did not run into it at all. Okay, and it seems to me it's Shadow. Shadow is just funky. Shadow is funky, so, and it could be user error, but I'm really not sure. So everything is solved. We are good to go. The boot should work. You know what? I'm gonna reboot and just show you on a reboot. So peace out.